Right now at noon, Bourbon County looks to combat food insecurity with the help of a financial grant.
And we have an alert day today and into tomorrow for dangerous heat. Heat index values up to 115. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, Carthage officials anticipate a financial boost for the city with the start of Marion Days.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's an alert day as scorching temperatures make their return to the 4 states. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. We're going to go straight to Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we do have that alert day due to the dangerous heat across the area. Taking a quick look from MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, it's a bit breezy and it's starting to get a little bit overcast as well as we've got some showers and thunderstorms out there. Got our camera on the Cornell complex pointed back to the northwest and you can see that cloud cover beginning to increase and doing the same just south of Pittsburgh from the KDOT camera there. In addition to thunderstorms out there, we also have the excessive heat warnings for most of the area. And in these warnings, you could see those heat index values approaching 115 degrees. In the heat advisories, it's not much better. We're talking heat index values 105 to 110. Skywatch storm tracker showing showers. We've got 1 lightning strike out there. All of this was a good thunderstorm complex just not long ago. It's beginning to decay a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on it for any additional development. But at least some of us getting some rain, and that's helping a little bit with the temperatures. Started yesterday at 77, made it up to 96, so above where we should be, but not quite at record levels. Temperatures again where it's been raining. See, Yates Center 85, Iola 84. Out ahead of that, we've got upper 80s and low to mid 90s, and then those heat index values, even where it's been raining, still feels like 91, Yates Center 90 in Iola, and then heat index values around the rest of the area, upper 90s, low 100s, and the further southwest you go, look at Bonita, already feels like 107 degrees. As we head through the rest of the evening, again, those showers out in southeast Kansas should begin to decay, and that's unfortunately just going to leave us with very muggy conditions, mostly clear skies, and down to only about 83 by midnight. We're going to have a full look at your forecast and talk about these rain chances and the dangerous heat here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, see you soon. Authorities arrested Deputy School Resource Officer Newton County for domestic assault. Neosho police responded to the report over the weekend. They arrested this man, Joseph Childers, an SRO for the Diamond School District and Newton County deputy. Childers has been charged with second-degree domestic assault, and he is currently being held in the McDonald County Jail without bond. Police in Independence, Kansas investigate a series of car break-ins from over the weekend. Surveillance footage from several locations shows the suspects entering multiple unlocked vehicles and stealing one that authorities later recovered in Coffeyville. The IPD have asked the public for any additional information or video. They also say car break-ins can almost entirely be eliminated simply by locking a car's doors. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department will release 2 videos of a deadly 2022 school shooting more than 21 months after the incident. 2 people died in the incident, including 1 student and teacher. The shooter, a former student, also died in the shooting. Several others were injured. Now, the department closed the case on Friday, 641 days after the shooting, citing ongoing investigation. It went on to say it will release 2 videos taken the day of the shooting that they believe fall under the Missouri Sunshine Law. Well, beyond the call of duty is a traveling memorial that pays tribute to fallen officers across the country. It made a stop yesterday at the Joplin Police Department and features images of Officer Jake Reed and Corporal Ben Cooper. The memorial also features Carthage High School graduate officer Lane Burns, who died in the line of duty in 2022 as a Bonne Terre, Missouri police officer.
When there is a loss, initially there's a huge outpouring of support. And over a little bit of time, some of that kind of dwindles away. And all the while, the families, friends and families, their lives changed forever that day.
Now, McCarter says they created the traveling memorial so that people all over the country hear fallen officer stories, see their faces, and support their families. The entire annual trip is 23,000 miles. The Healthy Bourbon County Action Team received a grant of $55,000 to tackle food insecurity in Bourbon County. The grant will be given each year for 3 years and helps the organization give out food to the community. They have helped 400 people in need since 2022 and depend heavily on grants to feed those in need.
Food insecurity does not discriminate with the young, the old, the individuals that are veterans, individuals that are unhoused, or individuals that are housed and just have food insecurity. We're here to help them all.
The organization is hosting a food summit within the next year where residents of Bourbon County can voice their needs. Well, even though the official start to Marion Days isn't until Thursday, it's already starting to look like a small city is growing inside of Carthage, Missouri. Every year, the annual Catholic Vietnamese celebration brings in tens of thousands of visitors to the Maple Leaf City. Guests, the Carthage Chamber president says, bring a big boost to the local economy.
Have an influx of 100,000 people that come to your community. They're shopping here, they're eating here, they're getting their gas. It is a big economic impact to our community. We welcome them, we want them to feel welcome, and they do really well at patronizing our businesses.
Thousands of visitors choose to camp and even more stay in local hotels and Airbnbs. Well, coming up, election officials in Oklahoma look to draw new workers with better pay. And later, we're making chocolate caramel cookies in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Election officials in Oklahoma can expect to see a higher pay ahead of the November general election. A bill passed in 2023 goes into effect this year, doubling the pay precinct officials receive in a workday. Oklahoma state law requires each precinct to have at least 3 officials, an inspector, judge, and a clerk. State election board officials say they hope the pay increase not only shows poll workers how important they are, but continue to support recruitment and retention efforts.
I've had several of my poll workers say that the increase in pay is definitely keeping them around. But I've had more people volunteer to be a poll worker, so I do think it'll help with recruiting.
No experience is required to be a precinct official, and you must work in the county you are registered to vote in. Training is mandatory and will be provided. A recent mailer sent out to people across Missouri targets lawmakers who voted in favor of a Senate bill. The legislation is intended to help get cheaper medications in rural areas, but the mailer claims it will do something completely different. Hayden Savage breaks down what the legislation really means.
Well, it's that time of year here in Missouri. It's election season, meaning many of us will receive calls, texts, emails, and even mailers explaining why one candidate is better than the other. In a recent mailer, a political action committee said Senate Bill 751 provided health care benefits to undocumented immigrants. Instead, it supported the medical program 340B. Pharmacists I spoke to today are speaking out, telling me that is absolutely not true.
Federal program that was started in 1992 that requires drug manufacturers to provide discounted pricing on outpatient drugs.
340B has been catching the attention of many after a mailer went out to people across the state of Missouri. It claims Senate Bill 751 will give health care access to undocumented immigrants, or as the mailer shows, illegal immigrants. In a letter to the Missouri Hospital Association, the Ozarks Healthcare Foundation called the claim misleading and unfounded. Is there any truth to that at all?
Absolutely none.
Absolutely not. This is just a way for us to take care of our patients, to make sure they're able to afford their medications.
Katie Mahan, the 340B program manager for Ozarks Healthcare, says Senate Bill 751 is just meant to help get affordable drugs to rural areas.
Since 2020, when drug manufacturers started restricting 340B drug to those pharmacies, it left some of our patients without the ability to obtain 340B discounted drugs.
The legislation intends to make these manufacturers return to giving low-priced medicines to those rural areas.
We hope to see drug manufacturers start providing 340B drug to our local contract pharmacies.
Similar mailers got sent out across the state about multiple candidates. Representative Travis Smith, the center of this mailer, said there is no place for lies or false information in political races.
When people say things about you that just aren't true, especially with Senate Bill 751, we had to say something.
Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
The cookies we're making today are magical because once we make them, they disappear.
But first, we've got an alert.
At Aaron Saxon.
We've got an alert day today and for tomorrow as well. We'll take a look at the dangerous heat and these rain showers when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we again have an alert day today and tomorrow for dangerous heat. Clouds are increasing from our Cornell camera, but that is due to this rain showers and even a couple of rumbles of thunder with this activity across southeastern Kansas. So let's take a brief tour of where some of the heavier showers are. So Yates Center up to about Burlington, Lone Elm south of Garnett, Iola, Bronson, Mound City, south of Lincoln, just outside of Fort Scott. And as we head a little further to the southwest, we've got Fredonia, Coyville, Eureka, Twin Grove, Howard, and getting ready to roll into Chanute as well. Some of this shower and thunderstorm activity, and it stretches back to the west. It was part of a bigger thunderstorm complex that got going not long after the KOAM Morning News came to an end across central Kansas. But as you can see, it's lost a lot of its mojo out there, if you will. Not nearly as intense, not nearly as much thunderstorm activity, but still bringing some rain. The problem with this is, as it begins to decay, it's going to leave behind higher dew points and higher humidity levels, making it feel even muggier across the region. So as we head through the rest of the afternoon, future tracks still showing, again, that isolated chance of a shower or thunderstorm later on into the evening. We'll go mostly clear overnight. We head into our Wednesday. We'll have another potential round of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Otherwise, it's just simply going to be straight up hot. Then we'll go into Thursday. Early morning, so late Wednesday night into Thursday, something that we're keeping an eye on that has changed since early this morning, but we've been kind of monitoring, is some thunderstorms. Now, there is a severe threat at this point, well to our north and west, but this complex could start pushing into our northwestern counties. Unfortunately, as you see, as we head toward about 5 o'clock in the morning Thursday, it very rapidly begins to die out, which also means on its backside, it's going to leave higher humidity and dew point levels. A reminder, we have excessive heat warnings across the majority of the area. So in the excessive heat warnings, that's heat index values up to 115 degrees. Heat advisories, again, you're not much better off. You're about that much cooler. Heat index value is 105 to 110. So we're talking dangerous, potentially deadly heat. We have these tips online, but a quick reminder on them. For pets, they need to be inside now. They shouldn't have been out since early this morning after it started to heat up. But do early morning walks, keep them inside. Kids, honestly, with 115 degree heat index values, need to be inside as well. And even then, still make sure that they are hydrated with water, Pedialyte pops. For those who have to work outside, again, I'm sure some of our companies that deal with outdoor workers are probably helping you, taking some precautions, but make sure you stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, and then make sure you're checking on the elderly. Make sure they're okay. Ensure their air conditioning's functioning too, because air conditioners are going to get quite a workout over the next several days. So we're at this point where heat exhaustion is likely, heat stroke is possible. And again, on our website, we have a graphic that'll explain the signs and symptoms of each of these and what you need to know in case somebody is experiencing symptoms of either of those. Right now in Joplin, it's 91. Clouds, the sky is a little bit darker looking out there, but as you saw on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, it's not much out there. 100 degrees is what it feels like. That dew point is an uncomfortable 74. Over in Pittsburgh, again, it is still hot, getting a little sunlight out there. 88 feels like 96. Dew point's up to 73. So where it's been raining, there's one advantage is the air temperature has come down a bit, but again, the humidity is up. So 84 Iola, 85 Yates Center. I want to throw those numbers out there just to kind of keep them in the back of your mind. Out ahead of all that rain, though, we're already upper 80s and low 90s, but then you factor in these dew points, which look at Newata sitting at an 81 degree dew point. That's putting us muggy, soupy, and well beyond that range and pushing our heat index values up there. So even though it's been raining, you still have 11 degree heat index values where it's been raining, so still very muggy, and we're already up to 107 in Veneta for that heat index, so uncomfortable to say the least. Highs today, again, upper 90s, lower 100s, southwest breeze gusting to 25. We're not going to get much relief tonight, falling down to only about 80 degrees out there with mostly clear skies. Near 100, possibly a little above as we head into our Wednesday. Near 100 again Thursday. And take a look at this. No real relief in sight for the next several days. Upper 90s, maybe some lower 100s heading into next week. Maybe some storms Thursday help bring us back down to the low 90s. But between here and there, you got to make sure you're staying safe out there.
Absolutely. It's a muggy mess.
Yes.
For sure. All right, thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making chocolate caramel cookies in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is sharing his recipe for chocolate caramel cookies in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
I am a huge cookie lover. I guess that isn't a surprise since I didn't get a body like this by eating celery sticks. So when I tell you the cookies that our test kitchen director Patty came up with the other day blew me away, I'm not kidding. Really, I was in awe with how good the shortbread cookies were even before they were topped with the caramel and the chocolate. So let me show you what she did before you try to reach through the TV and grab one. She started by making a buttery shortbread dough using all the basics, rolling it out about a ½ inch thick. Then, with a juice glass, she cut these out and baked them until the bottoms were golden. After these cooled for a bit, she topped each cookie with some caramels that she warmed in the microwave, along with a bit of water, which made it spreadable. Like these couldn't get any better, she finished them with some melted chocolate chips, mixed with a touch of shortening, which gave it a nice shine. Simple, decadent, and sinfully good. You see, with each bite, you get the buttery texture from the shortbread, the ooey gooey pull from the caramel, and the richness from the chocolate. To get your hands on these, don't try to reach through the TV, but rather go to our website and look for what we call chocolate caramel cookies. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a doubly, or maybe a triply good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, got a few showers into southeastern Kansas. As for the rest of us, though, alert day today and tomorrow. Heat index values up to 115 degrees the next couple of days for most of the area. So please take precautions, stay hydrated, stay safe out there. And as you see on the 10-day, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So just make sure you're staying safe.
Absolutely. Wow. All right, thanks, Chris. And Mr. Dow, quick, what do you have for us tonight?
A lot's coming up at 5. For starters, raging wildfires in the west now include new flames in Arizona and Colorado, and the park fire in Northern California is spreading. We're going to take a look at the biggest obstacles crews are facing as they battle those blazes. Plus, Marian Days in Carthage is going to kick off soon, drawing tens of thousands and filling hotels and Airbnbs. A lot of local residents host guests to help with the influx of guests. And we're going to take a look at a broadband acceleration grant enhancing internet in 14 rural Kansas counties, including Allen County. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll, of course, see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.